So if you check out this podcast, as you can see it behind me, Global Player on Spotify, they've made a video about the rental crisis, and within that video, there's a few numbers that were quite stark, actually. Since 2017, according to their research, the size of the private rental sector, so the actual amount of properties available to rent, has actually halved. Now, I'm not sure exactly which source they have used to do that, but if you take the basis that these are very well respected journalists and their research would be pretty accurate, that's astonishing. And to halve the PRS by half since 2017 because of Section 24 is not surprising, because the amount of properties that's available now to rent having reduced by half, if that's right. And that would explain also why the rent has absolutely surged. Now, bearing in mind, you know, post Brexit, a million people leaving, not enough people coming through because of Brexit, you'd assume that the amount of properties available versus the demand would have reduced, if anything, or calmed down the rental market. But that's not been the case, and it can only be due to demand being same but supply absolutely reducing, and that will make sense as to why they're talking about the PRS, so the size of the private rental sector and the number of properties available having halved. And some of the things that come out of it, as we know, as landlords, Section 24 has really killed this in market, because private rental sector landlords with one or two as a higher taxpayer have now been taxed at a 40% rate if they are, if they're higher taxpayer. So that's then caused them to basically realize that they're not making any money on these properties, and they've been selling them as since 2017 onwards. So that would correlate with the number of houses available for the private sector dropping since then. So yes, rent are rising, but there's a source to some of these things. That's where it's come from. And Section 24, the tax on landlord that was introduced by George Osborne, I would say seems to be one of the reasons why this is happening. And it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts, what you think is happening in the market.